little glove test here for you. And the nice thing, big chunky buttons here for just about everything. This is very glove friendly. This keeps you from having to dig through multiple sub-menus to get into the function that you want. This is the 2022 Toyota Highlander, the hybrid in this case, and in this video we're going to be learning all about it, why you might consider one, why you might not, and plenty more.
These impressions come from a 1,400-kilometer test drive of this machine across a wide part of central and northern Ontario. We'll look at how it drives, what's inside, a few complaints, and some of the dollars and cents behind going hybrid for your next three-row SUV. I've also prepared some special time-lapse footage to show you how the hybrid system works to save fuel over time, and some additional demonstrations that prospective owners should find useful. So let's meet the machine on your screen. My tester is the 2022 Toyota Highlander Hybrid XLE with the Bronze Edition package, adding the bronze 18s and other bronze-colored accents, unique lighting elements, a hands-free power tailgate, rain-sensing wipers, a digital rear-view camera mirror which I'll be showing you later, and plenty more. The Highlander Hybrid is a hot-selling three-row crossover commonly sought for Toyota's strong brand reputation and high safety scores. It uses a 2.5-liter four-cylinder hybrid engine enhanced by two electric motors to generate 243 horsepower. You get 3,500 pounds of towing capacity and standard all-wheel drive. Pricing as shown here is 53,000 Canadian dollars. Going for the four-cylinder hybrid instead of the non-hybrid model with the V6 engine means that you'll use about 3.6 liters less fuel for every 100 kilometers you drive, a 3.6-liter fuel savings every 100 clicks. The fuel savings are even more compelling if you do a lot of city driving or commuting in stop-and-go traffic where the hybrid engine is its most fuel efficient. So this spacious three-row saves gas every time you drive, and even more if you're doing a lot of stop-and-go driving. I'll put some information on your screen to help size up the costs. Factor in the market's rapidly growing interest in electrified vehicles and a likely drop in resale values of non-hybrid models as fuel prices remain unstable. And the Highlander Hybrid's ability to save fuel is something that drivers can appreciate both while they own it and later when it's time to sell or trade in. The hybrid battery pack lives under the rear seat where it doesn't take up any passenger or cargo space. That means rear seats are generously roomy for adults, easy to board and exit, offer adequate headroom, and can easily be tilted and slid back and forth, or out of the way, for third-row seating access. I don't recommend these rear seats for adults, though smaller occupants will be just fine. With the third row folded flat, you've got four spacious captain's chairs and a big cargo hold. The highway drive feels softly sturdy. The ride soaks up most dips and bumps, even at a good speed without much trauma, and the Highlander Hybrid felt strong and solid beneath me. It's a comfortable and easygoing drive for highway touring, and if you're commonly finding the SUVs you drive feel too sporty or harsh on the road, I think you'll like this setup. Steering and handling are best suited to a laid-back and leisurely driving style. The shocks are soft, the steering is fairly numb, and there's little here in the way of entertainment or feedback. So if you're looking for your next SUV to excite you with its drive, this isn't the machine for you. But if you're primarily after a laid-back and relaxing drive from a roomy three-row that's easy on fuel, you'll find this just right. I did wish for some more weight to the steering, which would make it easier to keep the Highlander centered within its lane on windy days. And I also found wind noise to be fairly generous. There are quieter riding options for the dollar if that's a priority for you. All said, here's a comfortable highway ride, though very laid back at the controls and possibly a little louder than some will like.
So on your test drive, head out here on the open highway, turn the stereo off, set a good cruising speed, and then just listen to the noise coming in around you. Two questions that you want answers to here. One, do you have to raise your voice for a conversation with a nearby passenger? And two, is it genuinely quiet enough for you to relax and unwind and socialize on the open road if that's what you're looking to do? Now, I don't think the noise levels in here are a deal breaker, but I do think that you've got some quieter riding options for the dollar. And so doing this little test on your test drive can help you to make a better purchase decision. All right, so noise levels, let me give you a demonstration of what you would hear in here, accelerating up to highway speed from a stop. So we're just gonna pull it onto the highway, give this kind of light to moderate throttle, let you listen to the sound coming in from under the hood. there's 110 kilometers an hour, cruise control set. So I think I can safely tell you this engine is not shy about letting you hear what it's doing.
I had few complaints on Sudbury's chasm-covered backroads. Here, broken pavement, frost heaves, and the like do little to upset the drive. The long wheelbase and soft suspension keep things stable and sturdy, and while suspension and interior noise levels can creep up a bit higher than I like on surfaces like this, the occupants are largely spared from the worst harshness hurled their way from the road surface beneath. As it is with the highway drive, comfort levels are highly appreciable, though noise levels aren't as impressive. The Highlander Hybrid does its best work when you're driving it to really maximize the use of its hybrid engine's ability to save fuel. The engine draws on both gasoline and electric power, whipping up a constantly optimized blend of the two to drive you along. When you drive gently, keeping the power meter in the economical green zone, it's easier for the hybrid engine to run more on stored electricity and therefore less on gasoline. The battery is self-recharging. There's no plug, nothing to plug in. It just recharges automatically while you drive around, and it's that stored electricity that acts as a secondary energy source for the hybrid engine, which can be used automatically in certain situations to cut fuel use. Here's a closer look at how that works over time. Thing is, you get less power than non-hybrid models, 243 horsepower here versus 295 for the V6-powered non-hybrid Highlander. The Highlander Hybrid's acceleration and CVT transmission aren't likely to excite enthusiast drivers. Remember, this one's all about a comfortable ride and good fuel economy. There's even an eco drive mode which makes changes to the transmission, throttle, engine, and other systems to make it easier to achieve the lowest possible fuel consumption. On the plus side, this hybrid powertrain moves the Highlander Hybrid along with adequate power for most situations, while using a very reasonable amount of fuel. On the downside, another familiar complaint: it's not shy about letting you hear and feel when it's working. Apply more than a little throttle, and you'll hear and feel that engine grumbling away under the hood.
This is Ghost. Ghost is 8 years old. He is of an age where we need to watch a little more closely when he's jumping in and out of the back of an SUV crossover like this. And so he's got his own little ramp here that I got from WeatherTech that he's getting used to. And so far, so good. So I don't have to worry about him as much jumping up and down into the back of this thing. Stay. And see, that jump-in height there might be a little bit too high for my 8-year-old boy here. There. Good dog, buddy. You want treats? There's a good dog, huh?
So it's a wholesome choice where size, space, comfort, and especially fuel economy matter, though the Highlander Hybrid is outgunned by some competitors when it comes to keeping engine, suspension, and wind noise out of the cabin. The interior hits most of the right marks. There's a solid and dense feel to most of the materials and the way everything's assembled. Most of the dash feels soft and upscale, ditto the steering wheel and special bronze-accented seats. There's a button or toggle for everything, no need to take off your gloves and dig through layers of a touchscreen menu system. This makes for more straightforward operation, and while there are a lot of controls facing the driver, most are logically placed and become very easy to find and use before long.
So I can work the entire climate control system in here very easily with my gloves on, which is awesome because in some crossovers that's a touchscreen deal, except the thing is most touchscreens don't really work too well with your gloves on, as you can see here. So when it comes to at-hand storage in here, you're so well covered off. Let me show you what I mean. So all of that to say, with all of these storage bins and cubbies and drawers and compartments, no problem at all to find a place for all of your stuff and to keep it all secured and organized on the go. All right, so backup camera here and digital rear view mirror just up above it. You should definitely know the difference between these two. This is a backup camera, this is not. This gives you a different field of view than the backup camera does. So when you're in reverse, you should be looking down on that screen for the backup camera. And when you're driving normally, you should be looking up here at the rear view mirror. So nice graphics on this, much wider view, unobstructed view, because of course with a camera feed, my view isn't obstructed by all the stuff behind me, all the body panels, the seats, and so on. So you can see from here a fairly limited view out that rear window. And in the digital camera mirror, no obstructions at all. If you don't like this, you can just flip it down, and then you have a regular mirror like this. But again, look at that. We've got kind of just a minimal view out the back. When we use the camera, look how much more we can see. And so I really think you'll like this feature because it makes it easy to gather quality information about what's going on in your driving environment. And we'll put some footage up to show this in action. So worth noting here too, this is the backup camera, this would be the rear view mirror camera, and there is a washer, little nozzle right here, that works to keep that image nice and clean for you.
Add in the comfortable and fuel-efficient drive, and here's a cabin with plenty of easily accessible features and tech that also makes it easy to keep your driving environment tidy and organized. So on functionality and storage, this one's hard to beat, though tech-savvy drivers may wish for some more modern displays and graphics. Highlander's infotainment and digital instrument cluster screens both get the job done, but the interfaces, and especially graphics, are easily outgunned by competitors at this price point. So how much fuel does this all save? The average driver doing 25,000 kilometers per year will save about 900 liters of fuel annually. If we Canadians assume the average fuel cost to be about $1.80 per litre, then that's a savings of about $1,600 per year versus the non-hybrid Highlander, and that makes it easy enough to recover the roughly $2,000 investment in the hybrid engine in less than 2 years with fuel savings, before it starts putting gas money back in your pocket.
So hopefully those impressions help you to make a better purchase decision. Let your fellow drivers know down in the comments section below. Do you have one of these? Are you considering one? What else are you looking at? Hit that like button down below if you learned something new. And until next time, take care and drive safe.